Back, everyone. We are finishing up here the NFL Mock Draft, the Game Time Podcast Mock Draft, and we are on to number 16 with the Arizona Cardinals. They need a guard, a D-line, or a corner. So I'm going to go ahead and start this one off. I'm going to say they take Jahdae Barron out of Texas.
Okay. What about, you want to elaborate on it a little bit, or
I'm just kind of looking at best available, and I think with Arizona, offensively, it feels like they're kind of starting to figure things out with Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray on that side of the ball. So why not show your defense some love here and kind of figure out a direction on the defensive side of the ball?
Great call, but here's what I would say to this, right? They just signed the tight end to the highest contract of any tight end in the National Football League history. You've got Junior on the right side as your Z guy, right? You got a decent, I forget the receiver's name on the X side, but I think you need somebody to guard to protect Kyler. I think you go for a guy, Josh Connolly out of Oregon, the offensive tackle, because I think their offense is getting better. I think they're going to go because I think their team is going to be geared offensively. I think Josh Connolly is your guy. That's my guy.
Ramon?
So did Mike Green come off the board already?
Yes, Mike Green did come off the board. Yeah.
Kelvin Banks is still on the board. Is also on the board as well.
I'm looking at two guys. I'm looking at Mikael Williams from Georgia or Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M. Both edge rushers.
Oh, I just thought about something. I won't spoil it, but someone just hit me on my list. I'll let it ride for a bit.
Okay. So
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M. 6'5", 267. Edge rusher, good production. Yeah, I think that'd be a good pick for Arizona.
So that we have a tie once again, but this pick will go to Ramon since he's next up in line, and then Ramon will also get the next pick since we're kind of doing a little. I guess it's technically like a snake order because I had back-to-back tie picks. So Ramon,
so I'm going Shamar.
Okay.
Stewart.
So Shamar Stewart heads to Texas A&M. The Cincinnati Bengals are now on the clock. They need a guard, a D-line, or a D-lineman, and a linebacker. I am going to go. They got to protect Joe Burrow. I think that's important before all. I'm going to go with Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas. They got to get him some protection.
I like that pick, right? But this is a spot here. You've got the turmoil with your pass rush extraordinaire there in Cincinnati. He may try and hold out if they try to franchise him. You're going to need someone to rush the passer in Cincinnati. Why not at this spot? I mean, at the 17th pick in the draft, why not Jihad Campbell out of Alabama? He's an edge rusher. He's a man amongst men. I think he'd be a great fit for Cincinnati.
That's a good pick.
In case your big guy holds out in Cincinnati, I'd say Jihad Campbell.
Ramon?
I'm kind of torn right here. Let me tell you what. And not torn because I'm torn. Torn because it's the Cleveland Browns. Or, excuse me, it's the Bengals. All right?
Same difference almost.
Same thing. Twins. All right? So I think I would go with Mikael Williams off the edge. Right?
Okay.
If my heart tells me they should probably go with, is Josh Simmons already?
He's gone. Josh is gone.
Okay. They do need an offensive lineman. They do need an offensive guy to protect your boy. But for some reason, I think they're going to pull the trigger and do the ultimate crazy thing and draft like Jack Sawyer.
Whoa.
Defensive end for Ohio State.
Oh, your boy. The one.
Because they keep Ohio boys in Ohio a lot.
Oh, that's a reach, though. That's a really
far
down.
Hey, it's Cincinnati. Look, he said it earlier. It's Cincinnati.
It's Cincinnati. We talking about.
Yeah, but there's other guys from Ohio State that are even above him.
Like,
let the man have his pick.
No, I know. I'm just saying. No. I'm just saying.
There's not another edge rusher better than what's the name is good, the other one, but he can't stop the run. So I can see them doing something dumb like that.
Okay.
But my pick would be Mikael Williams.
Okay. It's on you, Isaiah. What you got? We got Mikael Williams. We got Jihad Campbell. Who you got?
I think did I already say it? Yeah, I already said it. I went with Kelvin Banks out of Texas.
Okay, so we did split the difference then.
But so, Daryl, you get the tie.
I get the tie. You know what? Tie this pick. I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna go back with Kelvin Banks.
Okay.
I flipped it because I'm looking at who's next coming up, and I'm thinking about fit. So I'll roll with Kelvin Banks with you on that.
All right. Well, next up, Kelvin Banks will go to Cincinnati. Next up, we've got the Seattle Seahawks. They need a center, a guard, or an edge rusher. And for this pick, we were talking about him at like pick 8. So I'm going to once again put him out there on the floor. I'm going to say Mike Green out of Marshall.
Man, if Mike Green slips to number 18, I think he's a steal at that place, right? Yeah. So in this case, but here's the thing. You got a quarterback who, in my opinion, isn't the $100 million quarterback that they paid him to be. He's going to need help. He's going to need a lot of help on that offensive end. And I don't know how Seattle's offensive line is. I just know that you lost your top 2 receivers from last year. You got you waived one and you traded one to Pittsburgh. Why not at this point in time get the best receiver that potentially is available at this point? If in fact you're looking offense, and if you're looking offense, you're probably talking. As I'm looking here, it's a bit of a struggle. Maybe a tight end. Tyler Warren.
Well, the Missouri receiver's still there. I know you asked about him before we hit record.
Membo, yeah. So I was looking at Tyler Warren and Armand. Not Armand. Excuse me, Luther Burden, because you always need a tight end. And I think Seattle's going to look at a tight end potentially, but they don't have one. I think Noah Fant is their tight end now, and he's definitely long in the tooth. So I would say flip the coin. I'm gonna go Luther Burden.
Yep. And not only that, the Penn State tight end, we took him off the board already in this draft. He went to the Colts. So you took Luther Burden. I went with Mike Green, the edge rusher out of Marshall. Ramon, who do you got? Do we got another tie? Or
yeah, I got Tyler Booker, Alabama.
Okay.
That's not a bad pick to protect that quarterback who's very statuesque, as they say.
Yep.
So who gets
inside offensive lineman?
Yeah.
Protect all the pressure right up the middle.
Do I get the tiebreaker here though, right?
Yep, you do.
All right. So the next tiebreaker, it'll go back to Ramon, but Mike Green comes off the board, and I agree with you, Daryl. Daryl. This is going to be that would be a steal for Seattle. Yeah. Up next are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and their needs is all defense, edge rusher, linebacker, and defensive back. Ramon, why don't you start us off for this one? We're on Tampa Bay.
I'm going with Campbell from Alabama.
Ditto.
John Campbell.
You said that. Ditto. Absolutely.
You agree, Campbell?
100%.
I'll follow suit. I think I was going to say Campbell as well, or Jahdae Brown, but yeah, I'll follow suit there. So Jihad Campbell will go to Tampa Bay, and Denver now on the clock. They need a running back, a receiver, a center, or a defensive lineman. I think there's only 2 possible picks here for Denver. The way this team played last year, it shocked a lot of people. It's time to give Bo Nix some weapons. He proved he's the guy for this team. And I think you either go Luther Burden or you go Ashton Jenney, or you can even talk about the Arizona State running back. I don't want to say his name wrong. Scabino, however.
Something like that. But no, he'll be there in day 2 or day 3 though.
Well, so I think it comes down to 2. I think it's either Jeanty or I think it's Burden. But I'm going to say Jeanty. I'm going to say Jeanty because they could pass the ball last year pretty well. I think this would be a nice cushion for Bo Nix to fall back on, especially if they go into a game in Kansas City where it's cold. They can, pound the rock with Jeanty because I think the biggest question with Genty is he's short and he's stout, right? And I think that's the biggest thing everyone's been talking about. I'm not opposed to him for people saying he's not the best running back in this draft, but he's just rated so high. And I think at this point, a team is going to look at it and be like, overall, he's ranked as the 5th best player in this draft. At some point, you just have to do best available. I think he's going to go earlier because of best available. But in this mock draft, I say Denver takes Ashton Genty.
I like what you said there, but I think Genty will be gone. And I think the running back out of Ohio State, I can't remember his name because he's not on my list. But
TreVeyon Henderson.
Henderson. That's the guy. No, 32, right?
Yes, TreVeyon Henderson.
32. I think Henderson in this spot, right? Because of that point, right? Because Denver, they've got good receivers. They've got a quarterback. They've thrown the ball. What they don't have is a running back that they can, turn around and hand it to him 20 times. They thought they were going to do that with Williams. It didn't work out, right? And they kind of played around a little bit last year. I think Henderson is your guy at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm beat here.
With TreVeyon Henderson.
Yeah, I'm beat.
I think TreVeyon Henderson is the most complete back in the draft, hands down.
I'm okay with it.
His third down blocking is violent, not good, violent.
I think that's 2 out of 3. So that's
he catches the ball well. Yep. He runs the ball well. He's an every down back. Let's go.
Okay.
Next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 21 needs our quarterback, running back, tackle, and safety. Now, if Mason Rudolph wasn't their starting quarterback, I would say Genty goes here. But they don't have a quarterback whatsoever. So let me go ahead and pull up the quarterbacks real quick. I am going to go ahead.
I got my brain. I ain't got my guy.
I am going to go ahead and say, I'm going to go with Jalen Milroe. I'm going to stay with what the everyone has ranked. Obviously, teams have their rankings differently. Like, they got quarterbacks placed how they want. I'm looking at all the media outlets, and Milroe's that third guy. And then you've got Dart and Will Howard trading spots. I am going to go ahead and say Milroe goes here, but I have a feeling we're going to have a bit of a conversation here.
Pittsburgh doesn't have a second-round pick. They gave it to Seattle. I don't think you spend a number 1 pick on Jalen Milroe, who needs to sit a minimum of a year. I think, and granted, I understand the guy I'm great name, he may need to sit a year 2. However, I think from a quarterback perspective, he's further along. That's my guy, Jackson Dart. I know I tried him earlier. It didn't work out. I think Pittsburgh looks at a guy like Jackson Dart, a guy who's played 3 years, improved 3 years in a pro-style system at Ole Miss as well. I think Jackson Dart is that guy, if in fact they get a quarterback.
I think you have to do a quarterback. I don't think you have a choice. You really don't have a choice.
They don't have a second-round pick, though, either. So that's the thing, right? So if you're going to pick a quarterback, your quarterback, to your point, if you got a need for a quarterback and it's a donut, Jalen Milroe is not your guy you're picking to come in this year and play. If you're going to if a guy is going to play, it would probably be Jackson Dart over Jalen Milroe.
Ramon?
If Shadour's off the board in real life, if Shadour's not off the board, he's going to be in Pittsburgh, I think. But if he is, I think they struggle between picking Jackson Dart or Jalen, right? So I think how Pittsburgh wants to play, great defense, ball control, running the ball, you want Jalen. But I think with those 2 receivers,
those divas,
you better get Jackson Dart to throw in the ball.
Okay.
Because they would disrupt. You think you had some divas last year.
Yeah.
These 2, they can disrupt. This group can disrupt your whole building.
Yeah. Good point.
So Jackson Dart will head to Pittsburgh. I do want to. I don't know. So I'm very iffy on Dart, right? I don't see what you guys see in Dart, but maybe that's just me. I'm not saying I see it in Milroe either. When you look at everything, and obviously teams can have the quarterbacks ranked how they want, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm really curious to see what Pittsburgh does at 21 and if Shedeur even falls to 21. Because I think at that point somebody would just trade up to go get Shedeur if he gets past the teams that we were discussing.
And I know our time, we're scaling down, but here's a thought. What if Pittsburgh trades back into the second round? I think Milroe is available there.
Yep.
You pick up some things because they don't have a second round pick. That may be something you want to look at for Pittsburgh. They haven't done it in the last 5 years. So that may be something to look at as well.
If they trade back, I think they're going to pick up your boy from Louisville.
Oh, and you know what? His name's really ramping up. His name is ramping up.
Get more pieces.
His name is really ramping up too.
That may be something that Pittsburgh does that they haven't done. Pay attention to that. Because remember, Milroe has been invited to the draft.
Yeah.
So
and that's probably another reason why I'm like,
someone said you're coming, right? So I think there's something to it. We'll see what happens.
Up next is the San Diego Chargers. They need a wide receiver, a tight end, or a defensive lineman. Since their needs tight end, I do want to mention the Penn State tight end is off the board. The Colts took him at 14. I think this is a no-brainer. I think you take Luther Burden here if he's on the board. I know the defense is a little rough, but I don't know. I'm going to say Luther Burden.
What about you talking about they need a defensive lineman? What about TJ Sanders out of South Carolina? He wreaked havoc against Bama last year. I know that. He gave them an HE double hockey six. Maybe TJ Sanders is your guy at this space right here. Big guy, got good feet. What do you think, Coach?
We talking about the Chargers, right?
Yes, sir.
And who'd you say, Isaiah?
I said Luther Burden, the wide receiver out of Missouri.
It's gonna be a 3-way tie, bro. It's gonna be 3.
Oh my!
I'm going Loveland.
Okay, tight end out of Michigan. Michigan.
Okay,
but I thought San Diego. I keep calling saying I thought Chargers had a tight end, but maybe they don't. All right, that's cool. Okay, I could rock with that. Who's the overriding on this one?
Me.
There you go.
Yeah, he gets it. He gets it. Yep. And honestly, it's not a bad pick. Their tight ends are Will Dissly and Tyler Conklin. So I mean,
and you going with somebody who knows your offense, who's used to you.
Yeah. I can rock with that.
All right, next up, the Green Bay Packers, and this is an interesting one because their needs are wide receiver, edge, and corner. The Packers have not taken an offensive weapon in the first round in years. I don't think it'll change here. I'm gonna say his name because he's ranked number 7 when it comes to all the players on the board. Jahdae Brown. He's got to come off the board. He's got to come off the board at this point. I'm gonna go Jahdae Brown out of Texas.
I mean, this would be a good spot for him if he makes it that long. If he makes it that long.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah.
They don't pick receivers in the first round.
He's a corner.
No, I said
you're good. Yeah, you're good.
You mentioned receiver. So I would say this. In this case, I don't like the cornerback spot here. I'm looking for a big guy. It's the black and blue division. I think they still need some bigs in Green Bay. I'm going to go back to TJ Sanders again, just because I think that guy is a home wrecker. I think TJ Sanders is a home wrecker out of Carolina.
I'm going with the kid out of Texas, the cornerback. I'm going with him.
Jahdae Brown?
Yeah, I'm going with Jahdae.
All right, so Jahdae Brown will head to Green Bay, and just like that, we are on to Minnesota. Their needs are running back, D-line, and defensive back. I'm going to go ahead and book it. Ashton Jeanty heads to Minnesota. At this point, you're getting to the teams that are in the playoffs, and their pick is. I mean, it's not as needed as the other teams. I think if Jeanty falls this far, these are the teams that they already got some depth where if they bring him in, he doesn't have to be the guy in their running back room.
Yeah, he wouldn't be the guy just this coming year because they just re-signed.
Yeah.
What's his name from Green Bay to a 1-year deal, so he could fall behind in second string and be that guy next season. So I could see that being in this world if Ashton is still on the books to be picked. I think it's a good spot for him.
You're going with me here?
He's not being brought in to be the lead guy immediately. So I think that's good for him, not that pressure. And he's in a dome, so he doesn't have to worry about snow and all that stuff unless he goes to Green Bay, etc.
Yeah.
I can live. Remember, they've got a rookie quarterback coming in from Michigan.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So after that ACL, so you're going to need that running game. It's going to be a lot of running game. Yep.
Ramon,
so I'll go with Gentry.
I'm gonna ride with you, man.
Okay.
Because let's face it, man.
Gentry's not going to go that low.
He's not going to go that low, man.
Yeah.
Like wherever we think he should go, he ain't going to go that low.
Yeah.
Do I think he a top 5 talent? No. But do I think he a top 5 or 10 pick? Yes.
Okay.
All right. Next up is the Houston Texans. They've got 2 needs. They've got O-line and they've got receiver. I'm going to throw Luther Burden's name out here. I'm going to say Luther Burden heads to Houston.
I don't think so. I think they've got some young receivers that they're trying to develop. I know Tank got hurt, and I know that they released Cardi B's boyfriend. But I would say this: I think they're still looking at an offensive lineman here. I like Josh. I like Josh Carlin. I like who was it? I just grabbed. Oh my goodness, who did I just have? I just missed him. Oh shoot! I stalled out on you. God dog it. I had him picked. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go. Let's do this. We talk. If you say they need a receiver, the only receiver I would say that would be picked at this point would be Luther Burden.
Really?
I mean, if you're talking about receivers, and this guy was a top 10 projection, and now you're talking about 25. So if we're talking, apples and apples, I'll switch it and I'll go Luther Burden on this one.
All right. Ramon, what you thinking?
I think, did we take E squared off already?
Yeah, I thought we did, didn't we?
Double E?
Yeah.
He's gone.
All right, then I'll agree.
All right. Hey, 3 in a row.
Luther Burden it is.
Yeah, 2 in a row. We've all 3 agreed on 2 picks in a row. Up next, the LA Rams. Now, a lot of people had Shedeur Sanders in this spot as well, but he is already off our board. So their needs are tight end, tackle, linebacker, and corner. I'll go ahead and start us off here for this one. And I am actually going to go. I got to find him. Actually, I'll let y'all talk because I got to find the guy I was actually looking for. Sorry.
I'll say this. The Rams are going to need a quarterback, right? They've got some other needs, but picking this late, if there's no trade involved and Jackson Dart is still on the board, to me, this is a match made in heaven if all things are equal and Jackson Dart is available at 26.
Well, Dart. Well, and I was just going to say, and our mock Dart's already gone. So who do you think they take? So
I'm lining out the wrong guys then. So
you're all good.
We're not talking trade. I would say this: the quarterback out of Ohio State. Then.
Will Howard.
I don't think they look at a guy like Jalen Milroe in LA with the way they run that offense. I think Will Howard is.
He would fit really well.
Maybe that guy. I would say Will Howard.
Ramon?
Going Maxwell Harrison out of Kentucky, cornerback.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
Fast as hell. Got a lot of pop, fast twitch. I'm going there.
See that?
I'm a little indecisive. There's no point in me trying to do a tiebreaker here. So I am just going to go. I'm going to go with Ramon's guy.
Okay.
For this one, because I don't see I don't see Will Howard getting into the first round. I think it's going to be if there's two quarterbacks that get into the first round, it'll be Milroe and it'll be Dart. If Howard gets in, it's because those four guys are already off the board, or somebody really just prefers Howard. Which at that point, I don't blame them. I mean, I'm not saying Howard's a bad quarterback. I just gave him props during this segment. I just think Howard. I don't see Howard going in the first round. I think he'll go really close outside of the first round. I think we'll see him go in the second round. I think we'll see a lot of quarterbacks go in the second round. So I'm going to go with Maxwell Harrison as well. There's no point in me doing a tie, making this a three-way tie. Up next, we're at pick 27 with the Baltimore Ravens. They need a guard, an edge rusher, and a defensive back. And I think if they need an edge rusher, the kid out of Boston College, I don't know how to say his last name. It's his first name's Donovan.
I don't have him on my board at all. So
yeah, he's good.
So that's your guy there. I say that the Ravens are going to look at defensive help. I think either cornerback, either defensive back, either Darian Porter out of Iowa State or the safety out of South Carolina who still hasn't gone, Nick Amaro. So I would say this: the easier pronounced name would be Darian Porter out of Iowa State. I would say right here is Darian Porter for the Ravens. For Ravens.
I'm gonna go with Donovan.
Okay.
He's a big body kid.
Okay.
So next up, we've got the Detroit Lions. They need a wide receiver, a guard, an edge rusher, and a linebacker. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out. I'm gonna say Matthew Golden out of Texas is who I'm gonna pick here for Detroit.
Interesting. Now I think they're gonna go definitely defense for sure. I believe that. I think that's a decent pick, but I still like Darian Porter out of Iowa State. You know, the guy, I think, he ran about is 4.47, something like that. I think and what they try to do on the defensive end in Detroit is maul guys, right?
Yeah.
Put eyes on guys. And I think he could fit the bill.
I'm going three-way tie, fellas. Three-way tie.
Who you got?
I'm going JT.
Who?
I gotta look. I gotta find him.
Who?
JT? Oh no, JT.
JT.
Going with
at Ohio State. I was like, who?
JT from Ohio State.
Why didn't I just grab my Ohio State list and just check them out?
JT, you figure you're not sure how your boy gonna come back off the edge,
right?
In Michigan. So you pick a kid that had 21 sacks in the Big Ten, just in case.
It's not bad, but will he be available in the second round, though, is what I'm thinking, though. I mean,
he may be, he may not be with you.
So who gets? We're not talking trade. We're just talking straight up. So nothing wrong with a stretch.
Who gets the tiebreaker here? I think it's Daryl.
In that case, I'm going with Darian Porter. Gotta go that corner, that other corner. The way they play. Yep, gotta go with Darian.
All right, let me. Where'd you say he's from again?
Iowa State.
Thank you. All right, Darian Porter heads to Detroit. We got 10 minutes left here in the segment, and we've got four more picks.
We can make it.
So the Commanders are up next. They need a running back, a guard, an edge rusher, or a cornerback. If they need an edge rusher, I'm going to go with James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee.
I would second that, and I had him crossed off my list. Is why I didn't pick him on edge. He's going to be gone before this, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and put him on there. James Pierce. I would say that too. I had him crossed off.
I'm a loser because y'all already got 2-1, but I'm going JT again.
Okay. Gotcha. But James Pierce not James Pierce. Yeah, James Pierce Jr. will go off the board at number 29. We are now at number 30 with the Buffalo Bills edge, linebacker, and corner. They just lost the edge. James Pierce has already been drafted. So if I'm looking down the list here,
Is Mikael Williams gone?
No, Mikael Williams is not gone. So I will go with Mikael Williams.
That's my guy. Yeah, that's what I'd have to for Buffalo. But Von Miller left. Von Miller's gone as well. Remember that. Last year was his last year.
Ramon?
I'm going Malachi Starks, safety, Georgia.
He's already gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, he got picked. He got picked by the Bears at 10.
He went 10?
He went 10.
Oh, man, I know I didn't vote for him 10. Then I'm going to go.
You think he's going to go? You don't think he's that good?
I don't think he's.
Maybe not top 10 good, but maybe top 20.
I don't think he's top 10. I think he's top 20 good. I don't think he's top 10 good.
Right, this is a mock.
Yeah, it's a mock. Yeah. So
I don't think you pick a safety top 10 unless he's the kid from Ohio State. who's not eligible right now.
So Mikael Williams,
the best defensive player in football last year. I'll give you
exactly.
That. I'll give you that.
He'll be the best defensive football player in college football until he leaves.
Mikael Williams will head to Georgia.
I'm going to Thomas Kidd from Florida State, cornerback.
Okay. Yeah.
Azariah, I think this is something like that. I don't know how you pronounce the first name.
So me and Darren went with Mikael Williams, so that will put Mikael Williams in Buffalo. Next up, we've got Kansas City and Philadelphia, the two Super Bowl teams. Kansas City needs a guard, a tackle, and a D lineman. The Eagles need a wide receiver, a guard, an edge, or a corner. We start with Kansas City, and I'm gonna just say they take Kenneth Grant from Michigan.
Decent, but I'm gonna tell you the way Kansas City was abused last year on the offensive line. You got to find a lineman. You got to keep on finding linemen. Whoever the best offensive lineman next is going to be picked. And unless I
didn't they lose somebody? They lost somebody to Chicago too.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, they traded for a 7th-round pick. Is Josh Simmons still on the board? Probably not, right?
Nope, he's on the board.
No, he's gone.
I think you got the first name right. Who they gonna pick?
I'm looking at my offensive tackles now. What about Ursary from Minnesota? He's highly rated. Aronate Ursary.
Yeah, Minnesota. He's still here.
Gotta go with Kansas City. They gotta have a lineman. They gotta have an offensive line.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
What are you thinking, Ramon?
I'm thinking Josh Connerly from Oregon.
That's what I had earlier. Yeah, I like him too.
So 3-way tie. I think Ramon gets the pick.
Josh, it is.
Josh Connerly, it is.
And last but not least, the Philadelphia Eagles. They need a wide receiver, a guard, an edge, or a corner. I don't think they go wide receiver. I think they're fine at wide receiver. I don't know why that's a need for them on here, but I am gonna go. Let me look here. I will. I gotta look. You know what? I will go with Landon Jackson out of Arkansas. That's who I'm gonna go with. Nice SEC guy.
I saw him play twice in my whole life.
The 32nd pick is such a toss up because they can do basically whatever they want here.
Whatever they want. Princely Unominor, right from Ole Miss, really good. I only saw him play twice in my life. I like his name, and I'm hearing buzz about it. So I'm gonna call Princely Unominor for the 32nd pick for Philadelphia. They lost my man from Tennessee, University of Tennessee this past year, and I think somebody else retired as well too. So and he's an edge guy that could easily fall into a 3-4 defense.
Ramon,
3-way tie. I'm going Walter Nolan, Ole Miss.
All right.
Wow!
All right.
Ole Miss. I can live with Ole Miss. That's cool. We'll go with Walter Nolan on that. I'm good with that. I can live with Walter Nolan.
Nolan's off the board.
Oh, I thought you said okay.
Nolan's off the board. He went 7 to New York.
Look, hey, listen, you got to go with the Ole Miss guy now, man. You got to go with Princely. He's an edge guy.
Man.
He went 7th to New York.
We need to rethink this, fellas. Now I'm joking. Go ahead. I'll agree with you guys. I'll fall in line.
Okay.
Well, we'll go with Princely. Okay, so that wraps up the mock draft, right? So this is going to be interesting. We're going to have this up, and I'm guessing you're going to post it, right? So
so this will get posted here in a couple of days. I will see about. I will keep this draft. I'm going to bookmark this tab, so that way when the draft is done, we can kind of go over how we did, how many picks we missed, how many picks we got. We'll see how it goes. But fellas, that is going to do it for today. I got to go eat some Easter dinner here in a couple minutes. But this was fun. I definitely enjoyed it. That's going to do it, though, for this episode of the Game Time Podcast. We will see you guys next week for more episodes.